did it! He did it! Tony Ferguson did it. Since 2018, the journey has been long for the one they call CSO. He has been chasing freedom. He has been chasing money. He has been chasing dreams. He has gone through every setback imaginable to get to this point. Greatest fighter of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Ferguson beat Salt Papi by a ridiculous stoppage. But if there's ever a fight I will accept as being rigged, ever a fight that I will accept as early stoppage in, it was this one. I said it on TikTok. If you've not been following the build-up, we have been manifesting this. We have been manifesting this over there. Everyone called me delusional. I made an early reaction video 2 days before this fight, pretending as if Tony Ferguson had already won before he'd won. And I was taking a lot of flack off the Filipino fan base of Salt Papi, off everybody. Ben, you're delusional. It hasn't happened yet. Time isn't real. It's no longer real. I have figured out this metric, and it is the metric I'm using for many, many more fight predictions to come. I knew he'd get it done. I always had faith in him. I wasn't scared at all. Oh my God. The flip side of this, there is that, you know, he's probably going to fight again though, and eventually it's probably going to lead to a certain outcome that we really don't want to see, that many people thought we were going to see against Salt Papi. But Tony Ferguson's the CSO. This fucking guy. You see how much it meant to him when he knelt down? Honest to God, I was celebrating from the win. I swear to God, a tear rushed to my eye. Now, did I let that tear go? No, because I was in front of the missus. You know what I mean? We've got to firm it a little bit. We've got to keep it Ream, Joey Essex style. But it almost came out. It's enough to make a grown man cry. I was so happy that Tony Ferguson got this done. And this is the weird thing about Misfits, right? I usually shit on Misfits. I've kind of come round to it a little bit. It has its place in combat sports, I think. It has its place. It has its lane. It has its spectacle. It's not top-level professional boxing. Tony Ferguson and Salt Papi, in the grand scheme of things, historically, is going to mean nothing. But it means everything to me. When somebody asks me, when my grandkids, if I get there, right, God, because that's a big if with me, you know, I'm a bit of a goofball. If I get there and I have grandkids and they say to me, what is the one fight that meant everything to you? It was this moment. Tony Ferguson snapping an 8-fight winning streak. An 8-fight losing streak, pardon me. He's going to go on an 8-fight winning streak now. An 8-fight losing streak to get one back against Salt Papi is literally the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was a god-awful stoppage. Where? Cry more. I don't care. People kept commenting to me, yeah, but Tony was losing and it was an early stoppage. You think I care? I don't care. I don't care. I'm not interested in your, oh, it was the worst stoppage I've ever seen. Cry more is what I say to that. Cry more, Salt Papi fans. Cry more. Your boy got broken by the master of disaster, the man with a plan. If anyone can do it, Tony can. That's the man right there, Tony Ferguson. This is the greatest win of all time. This is the greatest moment of all time. Screw all of you that are crying about it. Time isn't real. So when I predict a fight in future, you listen. When I predict a fight that hasn't happened yet in your eyes, as if it's already happened, aka Aspinall versus Gan, I already did my reaction video to that one. It ain't clickbait. It ain't delusion. Time isn't real. Pretend as if it's already happened, and it will happen. This is the rule of the law of attraction, people. And we are going full power with my predictions next time. Because I know it meant so much to him, man. Honestly, like, an 8-fight losing streak. He barely ever got paid properly by the UFC. He got screwed over on title shots so many times. And it was just so sad to see the way he went out. And look, I'd love for this to be Tony Ferguson's last fight. If I get serious for a minute. It isn't going to be. But you know what? These Misfits guys, they're not on his level. Like, Salt Papi, if I get serious with you all for a second, we are going to get to the rest of the card, but I just want to rant about this fight for a bit. Salt Papi is a more talented boxer than Tony Ferguson. But you know, Salt Papi wasn't a fighter by trade. He was a TikTok dancer. Now, Salt Papi's very talented and he hits very hard, but you saw it with Anthony Taylor. If you have great conditioning and you're a fighter by trade, you've been doing this shit for years, you can put it on him. You can he kind of breaks apart a little bit, Salt Papi. He fades a little bit, he gets gassed out. He's got that big left hand, he's got a good counter left hand. But if you're not dropping from it, like when Tony Ferguson wasn't, he kind of bottles it a little bit, Salt Papi. I'm not saying he doesn't have any heart whatsoever, but he wasn't a fighter by trade, right? And as much as he was the favourite going in there against Tony, and understandably so, Tony is a fighter by trade. If you haven't got that ability to dig deep, he might put it on you. He might be slow, he might be easily hit, but he's still conditioned and he can still easily go 6 rounds in a boxing fight. That's nothing to Tony Ferguson. He can still easily put volume on you if you're just constantly backing up against him and relying on singular shots. Tony Ferguson got it done. Done. Finito. It's over. Moving on to the main event. Actually, I kind of want to touch upon this just very quickly, if you don't mind. Obviously, please do like, share, subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Joey Essex, keep it ream. Love it. Ream. Love it. Joey Essex won. What a slugfest, man. Joey Essex, shout out to you, Joey Essex. Legend of the British game. Joey Essex, if you don't know who this is, guy's a legend, right? We love Joey Essex. Absolutely love the guy. Shout out to you. Darren Till versus Luke Rockhold. We knew it was going to go this way. We knew that Darren Till was going to knock out Luke Rockhold. Honestly, I don't think anybody thought for 1 second Luke Rockhold was going to win this fight. Even in Luke Rockhold's prime, he was a much better kicker than he was with his hands. And of course, he was an elite level grappler. So Luke Rockhold being over the hill, not really having a chin anymore. For me, this felt like it was only ever going to go one way. And it went that way. Darren Till flatlined Luke Rockhold. Both of them look a bit, you know, saucy, as Joe Rogan would say. Both of them do look a little bit saucy, if I do say so myself. Both of them do look a little bit juiced up, a little bit balloon. My foot was a balloon times 10. You know, balloon on the arm, balloon on the other arm, balloon on the chest. Rockhold was big. His back was fucking bulging. But you can take all the TRT in the world and all the juice in the world. When your time's done, it's done, right? Tony Ferguson's time is done, but he got that dog. Luke Rockhold's time is done, and he can't take a shot anymore. Say whatever you want about Tony Ferguson. He can get wobbled much easier than he used to be able to, but he can take a shot. He took a good few left hands off Salt Papi. I honestly think if Salt Papi cracked Luke Rockhold a few times, Luke will go down. Luke, when your chin's gone, it's gone, right? And that's okay. Luke Rockhold had a fantastic MMA career. He kind of got his chin ruined by Vitor Belfort a little bit, right? Which isn't his fault. Vitor Belfort was on TRT. But when you get to that age, you can take all the juice in the world, man. You can get conditioned. You can fight on misfits. If you can't take a punch, man, you've just got to stop. You just have to stop. At least he made it back from this fight. I was very hyped up for last night. They sold it really well. I thought the production value was really good. Darren Till, he looks good, man. He looks very good for that level. He's 31 years old. Realistically speaking, he should be in the UFC, right? He wasn't a terrible fighter in the UFC. He just had a murderous row of opponents and kind of got rushed to a title shot. At the top level fights in the UFC, he lost. So I understand why he wanted to get out of his contract and try something new and get a bit of door fighting, lesser competition. It does make me sad when I see Darren Till in misfits, but at the same time, he's thriving and he's winning. He called out Carl Froch. I know Carl Froch has given it the big un to Darren Till. Carl Froch always does give it the big un to anybody, literally anybody. He did fight in front of 80,000 people at Wembley, if you didn't know. I do like Carl Froch. I don't want to see Carl Froch come out of retirement. People and boxing fans are in for a massive wake-up. I had some people in my comments on TikTok saying that Carl Froch would beat Darren Till. No, he wouldn't. He would get knocked out cold. Carl Froch, historically, even in his prime, had a granite chin. His chin was a different level, right? All throughout his career, I don't think he was ever KO'd once, and I don't think he was dropped many times, but he had a granite chin in his prime. I don't think Carl Froch could take a shot anymore. People would be surprised. When you're nearly 50 years old, you should not get back in that ring with someone like Darren Till, who's probably a bit juiced up, who's probably a bit aggro these days, you know what I mean? Darren Till does hit hard. He's stoning people in that Misfits division. Is Carl Froch a more experienced, former world-class boxer, And would he batter Darren Till in his prime? Yes. He would smoke Darren Till easily. Even the Carl Froch that retired just before fighting George Groves would run through Darren Till. But this is a near 50-year-old grey Carl Froch who does not look good on the punching bag, who looks much slower and probably can't take a punch the same way anymore. I think people would be surprised if those two actually fought and how that would go down. Obviously, Dylan Dennis, I forgot about that, won in 15 seconds. There really isn't much to say. You don't, look, Dylan Dennis always had the talent. Dylan Dennis could get in the UFC if he really pursued an MMA career. I know he's had some bad injuries and stuff like that, so maybe it's not his fault. But Dan's ever discounted, right, who knows the sport, watches the sport, Dylan Dennis's talent level. He's got immense levels of talent. Selling for Misfits now, he's an elite level jiu-jitsu practitioner. None of these guys in an MMA fight would be able to beat him, unless it's maybe Darren Till, unless it's maybe Luke Rockhold or Tony Ferguson. I don't think those guys have beat him because they're a bit washed. But, you know, Dylan Dennis is elite on the ground. You just can't grab hold of him. I mean, he literally gave him his neck, and that's how quickly he got a full mounted guillotine. It was over. I literally blinked and it was over. But fair play to Dylan Dennis. Good win for him. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this card. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Adios. Goodbye.